people in the U.S. Said, oh, well, China has overcapacity. This is not at all right. China has massive capacity and it needs to be deployed massively globally. I believe that the most important single program to do that is the Belt and Road Initiative, because the Belt and Road Initiative is essentially China making an observation and an offer to the rest of the world. And the observation is we will be better if we are interconnected through physical infrastructure, through the digital world, and aiming to achieve a sustainable development trajectory. That's the vision. And the offer is we will help to finance that. We will help to provide the financing, the technology, the partnership, the design, the connectivity, the openness of markets so that this works. I see Belt and Road projects all over the world. I was in rural Ethiopia a few months ago and was taken to very poor areas of agriculture. It happened to be avocado growing region now. Why? Because China had built a fast rail between Addis Ababa and Djibouti, and because China had financed a major increase of power capacity. So suddenly these farmers had two things that they never had before. They had energy for their pumps, for their irrigation, for their harvesting, for their machines, and they had transport to carry their avocados to the port in Djibouti so that they could be fresh and on the breakfast table in Dubai the next day. And this was a breakthrough, and these farmers were making money, and they were expanding their farms, and they were showing my wife and me their new houses that they were building.
Fantastic.
This was really economic development. And this is what BRI, the Belt and Road Initiative, makes possible. It makes possible a way for a massive uptake of digital and green technologies. In the case of Ethiopia, the power is hydroelectric power. In other places, it's massive solar fields or massive wind fields. China's electric vehicles are, of course, setting the world pace right now. They're dominating the world markets. Interestingly, why? Well, I can tell you why. On the one side, in Europe, for 15 years, I watched it closely. Volkswagen, Daimler-Benz, Mercedes said, you know, we produce great cars. The world loves them. Why should we shift? And you'd say, well, climate change. Well, yes, but that's a long way off. So they procrastinated, they dragged their feet. In the United States, it was on again, off again. We want EVs. No, we don't want EVs. We're in a phase right now where we don't want EVs according to our government and so forth. China said, of course we need electric vehicles. It made a major effort both in terms of infrastructure and in terms of promoting the technology. And suddenly there were hundreds of EV manufacturers in China in the most intense competition during the last 10 years. A few not only have come out on top, at least for the moment in this intense competition, but they've become the world leaders. And so this is a breakthrough by a mix of government design and private sector innovation and initiative. All of this is what the world needs right now. So we're in a complicated geopolitical and macroeconomic environment. The United States has turned protectionist, partly because it's so late to the game in some of these areas. The U.S. says, oh, we can't compete with China on EVs. Oh, we can't compete with China in some of these other areas because they wasted their time for so long. But in any event, with the U.S. market closing, China sees that, well, we have all this capacity we would have exported to the US. What do? Some American economists say, oh, you should boost consumption. I take a little bit different point of view, which is boost the Belt and Road Initiative, make it a bigger program. The whole world needs these technologies. We need to transform the world. If China lends to these countries, they will grow rapidly. I recommend that the loans should be 20 or 30-year loans, not 5 to 10-year loans, because in 5 or 10 years, these economies will still be poor. 25 years, if they follow the Chinese path, they're going to be rich enough to have the huge benefit of the financing and to repay everything that was lent to them. So my basic view is that China's tremendously significant capacity in these areas is really lucky for the whole world. We should just strike out the term overcapacity. That's ridiculous. We need even more capacity because the scale of the transformation we need globally is immense, and we need to do it quickly, and I'll come back to that in a moment, and China will play a huge role in that. Incidentally, China should not only lend to other countries, but also Chinese companies, the great Chinese companies, should invest in direct investment and production in these countries, help build their economies as well through the direct increase of the manufacturing or industrial base in the partner countries as well. All of this is taking place at a moment where the climate crisis is suddenly, dramatically accelerating before our eyes. And I just want to underscore this point. In the last 4 years, the Earth's temperature has increased by more than 0.3 degrees Celsius. It used to take 15 to 20 years for that kind of increase. It happened in the last 4 years. And at first, scientists said, well, yes, we have an El Nino, that's a temporary warming, but things will revert. Well, now we have a La Nina in the Pacific, and the temperatures aren't coming back down. Yeah. What we're understanding now is we've essentially reached the 1.5 degrees Celsius level that we pledged not to reach. And we're just about there, or even beyond it, or just below it on trend. This is dramatic news. This should be saying to the governments, oh my God, it's even farther along than we thought. We have to go even faster than we thought. We've not heard that right now from certainly not the United States, which is apparently planning to pull out of the Paris Agreement again just at the wrong moment. But the rest of the world should take notice. We are on an accelerated trend of warming that is extraordinarily dangerous and calls on everybody to go even faster than they thought they had to go.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. And you know, Jeff, in 2023, I'd actually taken the United Nations Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed to visit the 7th largest desert of China. It's in Inner Mongolia. It's called Kubuchi. Mm-hmm. It is mind-blowing to see an entire desert ecosystem being turned into an agricultural wonderland. And that place, when you go there, you're looking at like a sea of solar and wind power. Yeah. And they produce 3.2 gigawatts of electricity there. About 70% of it is sent back into the national grid. And it is just, I mean, that's the amount of electricity countries produce.
Yeah, of course. And this is a remarkable accomplishment, and it's what should be done. And I've got a number of deserts on my list I'd like to see the same implementation.
Right. And there is great hope. So I hope one day I'm able to invite Sonia and you to come and join me there. Because I feel that if many of these countries in Africa that we both know can actually grapple with combating desertification, this is a fantastic model. And what they've managed to do in China is to put big data technology and innovation. So they're really leapfrogging. They have actually robotic devices which are going and planting trees along the sand dunes. Those sand dunes has virtually disappeared. You know, in Somalia, for example, where I served, a lot of the pastoralist communities used to get into conflicts with each other, which one of the major reasons for conflict is conflict over pastures. Those conflicts have, there are no conflicts there because people have settled down well.
Yes.
Their herds are well taken care of. They have enough of food and livestock, everything coexisting.
All the needs can be
All
met.
the needs are brilliantly met. And what they've done is they've got these really high solar panels, so the real estate underneath is fully utilized
Wow.
for agriculture work. It is just pretty incredible.
Astounding.
It is astounding. Well, I really hope that, again, in the space of multilateralism, China and the US working together in the space of climate can really transform the world, transition us to a green economy, and also make the world extremely wealthy and prosperous through that.
It should be done. It's the right answer.
Yeah.